Guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm talking about what I would do if I could make Star Wars Battlefront 3. Now, Star Wars Battlefront 3 is probably never going to be made because it had a pitch rejected like 5 years ago. It was cancelled, the one in 2008. But sometimes, I just like to think about what I would do if I was head of DICE or EA, whoever was going to make this game, and how I could make it the best possible game that I could. So let's just get straight into it. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. Now, the first thing I would do before anything else, I'm not gonna lie, would be get rid of the sequel trilogy. Now, for like the two sequel lovers out there, the two sequel glazers, yeah, no one cares about the sequels. I'm sure every time you get put on a sequel map, if you're playing Battlefront 2, you just sigh and you leave the game, or you just get your way through it hoping that next map's going to be Clone Wars OT. But yeah, I think getting rid of sequels help. First of all, it would reduce the gigabyte size of the game. However, this game would probably be really big if everything I wanted to put into it would get put in. But I think you'd be able to divert resources to things people actually care about, rather than the sequel trilogy. But the first thing I would actually do, the first thing I want to talk about is the maps. The maps that I would put into the game. I think planets that have multiple locations in the movies should have like more than just one map. Obviously, places like Tatooine, you have Mos Eisley and Jabba's Palace, but you could also have Mos Espa as another map in the game as part of Tatooine, and then you get more maps, but you don't have to do as much, I guess, put as much work into it. But the new planets I would add would be Coruscant. Coruscant is obviously a huge planet in the movies. It's literally like the main planet of the prequel trilogy. So I don't know, I'm baffled how it's not even in Battlefront 2. Obviously, modders have put it in on the Kyber modding servers, but not everyone has a computer. See, like, not everyone has a PC, and like, if you're like, oh, we don't need Battlefront 3, we can just play with mods on Battlefront 2. Not everyone has a PC that they can play on, so yeah. The next planet that I would add would be Mustafar. And Mustafar, obviously in the movies, isn't the biggest place. You wouldn't be able to have like Galactic Assault, but you could have it as a map for like Blast or Extraction, or Heroes vs Villains obviously be the main one. Another map I would also add would be Utapau. Utapau was in the original Battlefront 2. I'm not sure if it was in the original Battlefront 1, but I know it's in the original Battlefront 2. And it's a decent map in that game, but that game is like, it's quite open, kind of. But I think Utapau could be really, really cool, just diverse, compared to the other maps, because in the movies, Utapau is quite unique. You've got like the cities that like go down into the ground. So that's like the whole way they have to survive. Another map I think I would add that could be quite unique and cool maybe would be the plains part of Naboo that's in episode 1. I think that could actually be kind of unique because there's no cover, so it'd just be like an all-out battle. Maybe it could be part of like a special mode where you play the Gungans or something. But I'd also add, the plains section of Naboo. I'd also add back the Bespin map that's in 2015 Battlefront. Why isn't it in Battlefront 2? I don't have any clue. Like, I don't know why they didn't just port everything over from Battlefront 1 into Battlefront 2. But I'd add Bespin, make a Galactic Assault and a Supremacy map. Because there is a Bespin map in Battlefront 2, but it's just for Heroes vs Villains and Blast, which is dumb. I don't know why. Now, basically all the maps I've just talked about are all prequel maps, and to be honest, the original trilogy is pretty well represented in the game. It has the heroes, it has the maps. The only one of the few maps I think the original trilogy could use could be Lothal from Star Wars Rebels. And I know Lothal's kind of just another generic Earth kind of planet, but I'm not really sure what else you would add for the original trilogy part of the game. So I think Lothal would have to be the map that you would add for that era. Now I want to talk about the reinforcements. The reinforcements in the game, definitely at launch, they were really lacking. And for the prequel trilogy, they have a good amount. Like the Republic has ARC Troopers, Clone Commandos, Wookiee Warriors, and the Aerial. And the Separatists have the Aerial, the Super Battle Droid, the Commander Droid, and Droideka. But I think, especially for the original trilogy, it's quite lacking. On the Rebels, you just have Wookiee Warrior, Ewok, and the Aerial. I think they could use like Rebel Pilot and Honor Guard that was in Battlefront 2015, and then you could also just come up with some other idea like a medic, combat medic, or a tank engineer kind of person. You can just add that. You don't really need to have anything super canon for the Rebels. For the Empire, you could have the Shock Trooper, you could have the Royal Guards, you could also have like different like driver people, like pilots and that. You can just have them as reinforcements. But for the prequels, for the main reinforcement, I think I would add for the droids would be the Crab Droid. I think the Crab Droid could actually be fun as hell to play as, because it's really unique. It's like a four-legged droid, and I know there's the Dwarf Spider Droid, but I think that could be more like a vehicle. Obviously it's a droid, so maybe it's a bit more like a reinforcement, but I think just for like the game's kind of mechanics, because it's a video game, to make it like a drivable vehicle that you have like on the battlefield. Now for mechanics, like I think you could just introduce into the game. I think the vehicles should be more like Battlefield, where there are ones dotted around, just you go in them on the map instead of spawning them in. But then obviously like tanks, you could have them spawn in as well, like in Battlefield, but when you get out, they don't instantly explode. Because in Battlefront 2, you get out of a tank and it just explodes. Like, what's the point of that? And like the tanks and the vehicles in the game, there just aren't that many of them, and the ones that are in the game don't really seem like they help a lot. Like the AT-ST and the AAT help a lot, but like the other ones, because of how they just work when you get out of them, and it's kind of hard to, like, you don't have any classes in the game to like repair them unless the vehicle has a self-repair ability. So I think if you added in like a thing, like you can pick up this kit and repair the vehicles, then I think, and then they don't explode when you get out, I think that would really help, especially the immersion of the game. And then you can also, like, instead of on the Galactic Assault maps, you know how you can fly in the planes above, instead of spawning one in, you just spawn in, you know. Maybe you get on like an X-Wing or a TIE Fighter on the ground, you fly up into the sky, and then that's how you fight people in the air. And then you could base a whole mode off of that. You can have, like, you know, in the original Battlefront games, they have that one mode you start on your own capital ship, you have to destroy the other one. This is what we all wanted Capital Supremacy to be. Don't get me wrong, Capital Supremacy is fun, but this version, like a version 2, could be like sick. Could be one of the most cinematic gaming experiences of all time. Next, I wanted to talk about new modes. Now, one mode I've been thinking of is Hero Showdown, but get rid of the Blaster Heroes. Make it like a dueling type mode, where you can only fight with lightsaber heroes. Obviously there'd be new heroes in this game, and you can have like a rank system, like F rank to S rank, and turn this game, get this game like an esports scene. Because Battlefront 2 doesn't have any type of competitive matchmaking or anything. But I think matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking is crap. I don't like that in video games. You should be able to come up, if you go into a normal lobby, you should be able to fight against a guy who bought the game 10 minutes ago, and a guy who's been playing the game for the last 5 years. But I think like a ranked hero dueling mode could be really fun, because you can like fight against higher opponents, maybe get rewards through like appearances at the end of each season, and then turn it into an actual esport, like the top 100 qualify, or top people just qualify for tournaments that happen, and I think it could really improve the community of the game. I would also add back the hunt modes that are in the original Battlefront 2. You have like the hunt mode on Geonosis, where it's clones versus Geonosians. You have the one on Hoth, where it's rebels versus Wampas. And you could even add other ones where you like have a hunt mode. You're in the Petranaki arena. You're like Obi-Wan, Anakin, Padme. You have to fight like the Acklay, the Nexu thing, and the Rhino-looking guy. I think that could be a unique addition and set Battlefront 2 apart from other shooter games like Battlefield games. And for the last section, that I'm sure is what everyone has been waiting for, is what heroes would I add to the game? Let's start with the original trilogy, because original trilogy already has quite a lot of the main dudes that appear in the movies. But what I think I would add, let's start with the light side. I think for the light side, I could add some of the people from Star Wars Rebels, like Ezra Bridger, Harrison Dula, and the bounty hunter person, whatever, the Mandalorian person. I can't remember her name right now. Because, like, you already have Lando, Han, Chewie, Luke, and Leia in the game. And I'm not sure really who else other than maybe those Rebels characters you could put into this game, because it's already quite a full roster. And for the dark side, I think you could add like the Grand Inquisitor, because if you just added all the Inquisitors, they're just kind of Sith Lords. Maybe you could add the second sister from the Jedi games, but I think the Grand Inquisitor, and then Director Krennic as well, and Grand Moff Tarkin, that like fills up your Imperials for the hero roster. It also gets another lightsaber hero for that dueling game mode I pitched earlier. But then also, I think I would put in, what's the names, Greedo, Dengar, and IG-11. I think I'd put in those bounty hunters to really flesh out like the hero roster. Because obviously, this is the third Battlefront game. We want it to be the best game that it can be. And I think if you had all of those heroes in the dark side, I think it would just really help add in a lot of depth as well. And who cares about Zuckuss and the other guy, 4-Alarm? Like, at least IG-88 and Dengar and Greedo, they either have significant scenes in the movies or are in other, like, media. But 4-Alarm and Zuckuss, I don't remember appearing in anything other than that scene in The Empire Strikes Back. And now, moving on to the prequel trilogy, I think it's pretty simple. I'd just add basically Jedi, Clone Commanders, and Padme for the light side. Obviously, you'd have like Qui-Gon, maybe Mace Windu, you could have Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, just those main Jedi Council kind of dudes. And obviously Padme. You have to have had Padme in the base game. She should have been in Battlefront 2. I don't know why she wasn't. Like, they were pretty sure they were designing her before the game got cancelled, but obviously stopped updating it. And also Ahsoka. Ahsoka was literally getting designed for the game, but then EA pulled the plug, which is really sad. And Ahsoka has a lot of potential, I think, because she's dual-wield lightsaber, and no one in the game, other than a hero I'll talk about later, dual-wields lightsabers. I'd also add 3 main clone commanders, because you could keep adding clone commanders for days, but then I think the hero roster might get a bit bloated. I think I'd add Captain Rex, Commander Cody, obviously those are the main 2, and Commander Wolf. Commander Wolf just looks sick. Like, I don't know what maybe abilities you'd give them, because you don't really see that much in the shows and that, other than like just basic blasters and grenades. But I'd also add just Commander Wolf solely because of how cool it looks. And then for the dark side, in the prequels, I would add Asajj Ventress, because she was getting designed for the game, but then, like I've said, they stopped updating it, so she had to have development on it scrapped. I also think I would add Pre Vizsla, just for like, I don't know, I think he'd be cool because he'd have the dark saber. You can have him like wield a pistol and the dark saber. I'd also add Savage Opress, just to fill up the lightsaber hero lineup for that dueling game mode that I talked about earlier. So yeah guys, those are some of the main things I think I would want to see if they ever made Battlefront 3. Obviously, you could talk about this for like hours. There's like, Star Wars is just a limitless like media franchise, so many things in it that you could add.
Obviously, every game has limits. You can't have a game that's a full terabyte because people don't have that much storage on their Xboxes and PCs. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.